Okay, so here we go. Act 2, Scene 2. Like I said at the end of the last video, this is probably the most famous scene in Romeo and Juliet. Even if you know nothing about Romeo and Juliet, chances are you know about the balcony scene, which is the scene that we're going to do now. Please make sure that you have your scene guide up and that you're down here on Scene 2, the Capulet's Orchard. So, quick recap. Romeo jumped the wall into the Capulet's orchard, so he's trespassing. And when I say he jumped the wall, I don't mean like a 4-foot stone wall. I mean like a 12-foot brick wall. Like, this was quite the challenge for him to jump. He had to try quite hard to get into this orchard. So let me set the scene for you. It's nighttime and it is completely dark because no electricity. So he is kind of stumbling around this apple orchard, and all of a sudden he sees the light in Juliet's window, and she's out on the balcony, and this is the famous scene. So your characters in this scene, I'll do the scene guide with you for this one because it is a long scene. We've got Romeo, Juliet, and then the nurse shows up towards the end. Ooh, I spelt Romeo wrong. There we go. And it kept the capitalized O, but whatever. Okay, so back to No Fear Shakespeare. Romeo returns, and he says to what Mercutio was saying, he says, it's easy for someone to joke about scars if they've never been cut. Meaning Mercutio doesn't know what he's talking about, making fun of Romeo for being so lovesick. Juliet enters on the balcony, and Romeo is saying to himself, that's important to remember that he is speaking to himself. But wait, what light through the window over there? Oh, it is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Rise up, beautiful sun, and kill the jealous moon. The moon is already sick and pale with grief because you, Juliet, her maid, are more beautiful than she. Oh, don't be her maid because she is jealous. Virginity makes her look sick and green. Only fools hold on to their virginity, which of course he would say because he's just trying to get with somebody at this point. Let it go. Oh, there's my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, I wish she knew how much I loved her. She's talking, but she's not saying anything. Oh, so what? Her eyes are saying something, and I will answer them. Oh no, I am too bold. She's not talking to me. 2 of the brightest stars in the whole sky had to go away on business, and they're asking her eyes to twinkle in their places until they return. Oh, what if her eyes were on the sky and the stars were in her head? The brightness of her cheeks would outshine the stars, and the sun outshines a lamp. If her eyes were in the sky, they would shine so brightly through space that birds would start singing, thinking her light was the light of day. Look how she leans, her hand on her cheek. Oh, I wish I was the glove on that hand so that I could touch that cheek. All right, the guy's a creep because he's stalking her. He's talking to himself about, oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, she should give up her virginity and be with me. Oh, her face is so bright that the birds would start singing because they think it was daytime because she's so beautiful. And it's like, gag. And Juliet is speaking to herself because she doesn't know that he's there, and she says, oh my, like she's sighing, heavy sigh, because now she's super conflicted because she thinks she's in love with the son of her enemy. And Romeo, again to himself, says, oh, she speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel. You are as glorious as an angel tonight. You shine above me like a winged messenger from heaven who makes mortal men fall on their backs to look up at the sky, watching the angel walking on the clouds and sailing on the air. Once again, you're so beautiful. Everyone wants to stare at you. Blah, 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 blah. So we're going to make a note. Romeo, I can't spell, sorry. Romeo is stalking Juliet and saying how beautiful she is as he's watching her And now we're going to go to what she says. So she has no idea that he's there. She's talking to herself, and she says, "Oh, Romeo, Romeo, why do you have to be Romeo? Forget about your father and change your name. Or else, if you won't change your name, just swear that you love me, and I'll stop being a Capulet." Right there, she has just like confessed that she loves him, that she will give up being a Capulet so they can be together if he won't give up being a Montague. And she can't take that back. And he heard her, and he says, "Oh, should I listen for more, or should I speak now?" He doesn't speak now. He keeps eavesdropping. She says, "Oh, it's only your name that's my enemy. You'd still be yourself if you stopped being a Montague. What is Montague anyway? It isn't a hand or a foot or an arm or a face or any other part of a man. Oh, be some other name. What does a name mean? The thing we call a rose would smell just as sweet if we called it by any other name. Romeo would be just as perfect even if he wasn't called Romeo. Oh, Romeo, lose your name. Trade in your name, which really has nothing to do with you, and take all of me in exchange." So let's make a comment. Juliet confesses how much she loves Romeo. Romeo, and wants to be with him. And she has no idea that he is watching her. And that's going to come into play in just a second, because she thinks that she's just talking to herself, but he's hearing everything. So he pops out from probably behind a bush, and he yells up to Juliet, "I trust your words. Just call me your love, and I will take a new name. From now on, I will never be Romeo again." And you have to imagine Juliet's like, "Ah, who are you? Why do you hide the darkness and listen to my private thoughts?" So he jumps out because he's all excited because, the girl loves me back. And she freaks out because, oh my gosh, there's a stranger down below in my orchard. And Romeo says, "Oh, I don't know how to tell you who I am by telling you a name. I hate my name, dear saint, because my name is your enemy. If I had it written down, I would tear up the paper." He's got a flair for the dramatic. And Juliet says, "Well, I haven't heard you say 100 words yet, but I recognize the sound of your voice. Aren't you Romeo? And aren't you a Montague?" And he says, "Well, I'm neither of those things if you dislike them. Tell me, how did you get in here? And why did you come? The orchard walls are high, and it's hard to climb over them. If any of my relatives find you here, they'll kill you because of who you are." So she's not falling for it. He's pulling out all of the sappy words, trying to, win her over. And she's like, "Wait a minute. How did you get here?" And his response is, "Oh, I flew over these walls with the light wings of love. Stone walls cannot keep love out. Whatever a man in love can possibly do, his love will make him try to do it. Therefore, your relatives are no obstacle. How did I get over the wall? I flew." Yeah. Okay. She's still not falling for it. She says, "If they see you, they'll murder you." And he says, "Alas, one angry look from you would be worse than 20 of your relatives with swords. Just look at me kindly, and I'm invincible against their hatred." So he's still spitting game, saying, "Oh, I love you so much. I don't care if your relatives find me. I just need to know that you love me." And she says, "Well, I'd give anything to keep them from seeing you here. Well, the darkness will hide me from them. And if you don't love me, then let them find me here. I'd rather they killed me than have to live without your love." Super dramatic. And he says, "Oh, the darkness will hide me." It's like, okay, yeah, darkness won't hide you from the light of a torch, buddy. And Juliet, still not really falling for it, she says, "Well, who told you how to get here below my bedroom? Like, how'd you know I'd be here?" And he says, once again, "Love showed me the way. The same thing that made me look for you in the first place. Love told me what to do, and I let love borrow my eyes. I'm not a sailor, but if you were across the farthest sea, I would risk everything to gain you." He's really trying. You have to at least admire that. "Oh, love showed me. Oh, love helped me fly over the wall. Oh, blah, blah, blah." And Juliet, she's still pissed. And she says, "Well, you can't see my face because it's dark out. Otherwise, you'd see me blushing about the things you've heard me say tonight. I would be happy to keep up good manners and deny the things I said, but forget about good manners. Do you love me? I know that you'll say yes, and I'll believe you. But if you swear you love me, you might turn out to be lying. They say Jove laughs when lovers lie to each other. Oh, Romeo, if you really love me, say it truly. Or if you think it's too easy and quick to win my heart, I'll frown and play hard to get, as long as that will make you try to win me. But otherwise, I wouldn't act that way for anything. In truth, handsome Montague, I like you too much, so you may think my behavior is loose. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove myself more faithful than girls who act coy and play hard to get. I should have been more standoffish, I confess, but you overheard me talking about the love in my heart when I didn't know you were there. So excuse me, and do not assume that because you made me love you so easily that my heart isn't serious. So she's pretty much saying, look, buddy, I love you. You know that I love you because you were eavesdropping on me. So do you love me back? And she's afraid that he'll say yes, but not mean it. So over here, Juliet is mad that Romeo heard what she said about how much she loves him because now she can't take it back and is afraid Romeo will think she's easy and will take advantage of her. That's her fear. She's afraid that he's going to take advantage of her now. Okay, Romeo says, oh, lady, I swear by the sacred moon above, the moon that paints the tops of the fruit trees with silver. So he's about to go into a whole big monologue about, oh, no, I'd never lie about loving you. I love you so much. And Juliet cuts him off, and she says, oh, don't swear by the moon. The moon is always changing. Every month its position in the sky shifts. I don't want you to turn out to be that inconsistent too. So she says, don't swear by the moon, because the moon is always changing. Are your feelings going to change for me? And Romeo says, well, then what should I swear by? Oh, don't swear at all. But if you have to swear, swear by your wonderful self, which is the God I worship like an idol, and then I'll believe you. So she already says, oh, I worship you. Oh my gosh, Juliet, slow down. You were doing so well. You had such a level head on your shoulders. And so he continues by saying, well, if my heart's dear love, oh, well, do not swear. Although you bring me joy, I can't take joy in this exchange of promises tonight. It's too crazy. We haven't done anything. We haven't done enough thinking. It's too sudden. This is why I like Juliet. She says, we need to slow down. It's too much like lightning, which flashes and then disappears before you can say it's lightning. My sweet good night, our love, which right now is like a flower bud in the summer air, may turn out to be a beautiful flower by the next time we meet. I hope you enjoy the same sweet peace and rest I feel in my heart. So she pretty much says, let's both go home and go to bed, and we'll talk later. This is all happening too soon for me. And Romeo says, oh, are you going to leave me so unsatisfied? Well, what satisfaction could you possibly have tonight? He's implying, kisses and making out and stuff like that. And she's like, what are you after here, buddy? And Romeo, I would be satisfied if we made each other true promises of love. All right, he saved it a little bit. Well, I pledged my love to you before you asked me to, yet I wish I could take that promise back, so I had to give it again. Well, would you take it back? Why would you do that, my love? Only to be generous and give it to you once more, but I am wishing for something I already have. My generosity to you is as limitless as the sea, and my love is as deep. The more love I give you, the more I have. Both loves are infinite. And the nurse calls, Juliet! And Juliet says, oh, I hear a noise inside. Dear love, goodbye. Just a minute, good nurse. Oh, sweet Montague, be true. Stay here for just a moment. I'll come back. And Juliet leaves, and Romeo says, oh, blessed, blessed night. Because it's dark out, I'm afraid all this is just a dream, too sweet to be real. And Juliet comes back, and she says, 3 words, dear Romeo, and then it's good night for real. If your intentions as a lover are truly honorable, and you want to marry me, send me word tomorrow. I'll send a messenger to you, and you can pass on a message telling me where and when we'll be married. I'll lay all my fortunes at your feet and follow you, my lord, all over the world. She goes from, let's go home and think about things and talk tomorrow, to, will you marry me tomorrow? Crazy. All right, we're about to get cut off here, so